Hey, I'm Bill Dunleavy. Welcome to CHIEFIN, episode 5. I'm here with Ozzie Juarez, the founder of Tlaloc Studios in South Central Los Angeles.
Welcome.
What's up, Ozzie? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about who you are and what Tlaloc Studios is all about.
Of course. My name is Ozzie Juarez, and I was born in Compton and raised in South Central, and also in the southeast area on Florence, along the whole Florence kind of district area.
So you're a Los Angeles native.
Los Angeles native, for sure. Yeah, I've been here. Not all my life. I went to school in the Bay Area.
Okay.
I went to school in UC Berkeley
Nice.
for 2 years. I transferred over from Santa Monica College.
And how long have you been making art?
I've been making art my entire life, basically. You know, as a little kid, I was always drawn to it, but realistically, professionally, since 2010.
Okay, cool.
So about 11 years now.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we're here at, you just had your grand opening of Tlaloc.
Yeah,
A bunch of media attention.
it was nice.
We're here in the debut exhibition, which is a group show of everybody that has studios here at the spot, right?
Yeah, correct.
So
correct.
tell me about how this place came about and
Cool.
how you wound up as the person in charge of this
great.
place and this
Yeah.
roster of artists.
Great. Well, I used to run another space in South Central on Firestone called Sola.
Okay.
It was called Sola Art Gallery, and we had that space very briefly. We've only had it almost 2 years. We had maybe like 4 group shows, and we were planning to have more. And unfortunately, that building sold. But through those shows that I was curating, I met the founders of this warehouse that used to exist. It used to be called Dalton Warehouse, and they just took the name directly from the warehouse. This warehouse actually made bats, so they made baseball bats for the world.
So this was once a factory.
This was a factory
and
in a residential area.
like a lot of art spaces, post-industrial result of industry gone abroad and whatnot. This was branded as Dalton Warehouse, and what was that space?
Before,
What was their their version?
when it was an art space.
Exactly.
Okay, so their version, it was a group of friends who came in. None of them Angelinos, none of them from the area. They were all either from Austria or from New York or from Chicago.
Okay.
But they were all not from the area. And they developed these studios just like, everybody comes into Los Angeles, trying to make it and trying to, become an artist, because it is somewhere really special to be at. And so I don't blame people for coming into this place. So they came in and they did their warehouses, their studio spaces and their gallery, and they started showing a lot of different people, a lot of people that were around the area.
Hey guys.
I guess a lot of people who were around the area and represented kind of Los Angeles a little bit. So they did get in with the art world. I had a couple of my friends show here who were Latino, and were not just of a certain kind of group. They were trying to invite a lot of people in, which is cool. But I feel like there was just a misunderstanding. There's a collective that I don't know them personally. They call themselves Defend Boyle Heights.
Right. Anti-gentrification activist group.
Yeah. So during those times, it was heavy. It was during that time with that gallery. It was 356 Mission.
That's right, 356 Mission, and all the others on the Boyle Heights waterfront.
Yeah.
It's like people had been fed up with it that year. They were like, gentrification's moving too fast.
Exactly.
It's disproportionately moneyed white people.
Yeah, like Laura Owens was
that's right,
the gallery owner of that.
Now 356 Mission was the same owners as Ooga Booga,
yes,
right?
I think they were all interconnected together.
And if I'm not mistaken, they were in cahoots with a real estate investor, and that was a stunt to prop up that neighborhood for development.
Which is crazy.
Justified thing to protest.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that was happening, so that was like...
So that happened here.
Yeah, so...
South Central.
South Central.
Yeah.
So...
Historic.
Yeah, for sure.
Historic South Central is the name of the neighborhood, right? Okay. So this is the original South Central.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we just started calling everything south of the 10 South Central.
Yeah, exactly. Historic South Central.
Yeah.
So there was a group exhibition. I forget the name of the show. I think it was called Peripheral LA. It was the name of the show. That's what it was called. It was called Peripheral LA, the name of the show here, and it hosted like all these artists that are currently like Latino artists who are currently doing really well in the art world, and the show was popping. It was really nice. It was really cool to see everyone here, and there was no fuzz. There was a group show that happened after that show that there was no people of color in the show. It was all white folk, and so the protesters came and they did what they had to do, you know. They saw the lineup. I guess they were doing their research, you know.
Yeah.
Because they saw who was showing.
Right.
You know, because I guess they always kind of look at that.
Yeah, because this is a neighborhood space.
Yeah,
this gallery, I mean, in terms of a gallery location, it's right in the middle of a neighborhood.
Exactly.
It's right on a residential street in front of people's homes.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard.
I can see why that would make people uncomfortable and have some real gentrification vibes
and
to it.
It did, you know, it did make people uncomfortable, and so that night was wild, man. That night was wild.
So how did it go down? What did this protest action look like?
So when I got invited to show here, I was really excited because I saw that LA show that was hosted here. And so I was like, yeah, I'm super amped on the space. They're like bringing good people, like it's super nice. And I was gonna have a duo show with Matthew here. And so I came to meet him that night, and we were looking around the show. It was really nice. There was all these people, and we were looking for Matthew Sweezy, and I was standing right where the camera is, right exactly where the camera is. I was standing, looking over the whole exhibition, looking for Matthew, and we couldn't find him. And I was standing next to the gallery owner at the time, and we were chatting it up, just kind of like, you know, being excited about, you know, life and just talking. And all of a sudden, I just see from the corner of my eye like a group of people that look like they just stumbled across from the street, like like they looked unfamiliar. I was like, these guys doing? And I saw them right before they put their mask on, so I saw how they looked like, and so I saw them over there, and I was like, oh, interesting. And I saw them put their mask. I was like, oh, no way. And I was like, oh, that's gonna happen. And I saw, so it was 4 of them. I saw them. It was 3 of them that looked like they were together, and then there was 1 of them that looked like they just hired from the street. It didn't look like they were like associated with him at all.
Okay.
Like the way he was dressed. I'm really good at like detecting little things.
Sussing it out.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that person wasn't with them.
Okay.
Like they just paid this for some money to destroy some shit.
And so what they destroyed? What did they do?
So the show was covered. The show had photographs. It had wall sculptures. It had paintings. It was a full covered show, and it was packed. There was full with humans in here.
Oh, wow.
There was puppies. There was dogs. It was everything. It was the whole works. And they came in with giant buckets of red paint. So they both had red paints on their hands. And there was a woman who came in ready just talk. And so she kind of like silenced the whole thing. She silenced the whole crowd, and she started saying her preach. She was saying that anybody who is European and didn't belong here should not be here, and that this is not okay, and that everything that they're doing is not okay. And if you think that this is okay, you're wrong. Like, this is not okay for the community. Like, fuck everyone here. Like, you guys all need to leave permanently. And while she was screaming that from the top of her lungs, really emotionally, everybody was just throwing red paint on everything.
Wow.
On every single thing here. On the humans, on the dogs, on the sculptures, on the floor. They went inside the studios.
Wow.
They broke in. It was a rape, you know?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was war, and it was a rape, and they fucked everything up. And everybody that was in this building, they're not used to this kind of problematic situations, you know? They don't know how to handle that, so they're just all frozen.
Sure, not the type to grab somebody, hold them.
No, they're all frozen.
Yeah.
And they're all literally, it all seemed like a whole performance piece, like a beautiful performance piece. And I was just standing front view, just looking at the whole thing, like, no way, like cool, but not cool.
So
I was like torn in the middle, man.
Wow.
I was just like, how is this happening? Why is this happening? Like, fuck, no way. So they did their job and they ran. and I caught them between Maple and Trinity.
So you chased them?
I chased them because I was naturally, for me, I was just like, man, fuck these guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I mean, in running Superchief on Skid Row, I've had people steal, shit get attacked. And yeah, we chased them down the whole damn street, captured them, and made them give the shit back.
I can't believe they did that.
So you were the only one who had the instinct to actually chase them and hold them accountable?
Yeah, the only one. And I ran after them, and I was like, from the distance between me and you, I was that close, catching the slowest person. And I just kind of backed away. I just kind of saw it as something that was out of my control.
Right, this isn't your problem.
It's not my problem.
Technically,
not my problem at all.
And you're gonna hold this guy and call the police.
Yeah, what am I gonna do?
It's not your art that got destroyed.
Talk to him, tell him he did something bad.
Yeah.
So fucking punch me and kill me and whatever.
Yeah,
I don't even know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck. His instinct's like, oh my god, I don't want to get caught for this shit.
Totally.
Fuck you. Like
totally. I'm on this anti-gentrification.
Yeah, I'm gonna get big fucking time for
I'm doing
shit
my
like this.
anti-colonialism art attack. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
For real.
Which is crazy. And
they would have
really,
locked them up too.
Yeah, of course. And it's really kind of historic, to be honest, just this time, what's happening now, even more now with like the Olympics coming and like people kicking out the homeless. And,
yeah, it's a conversation. I mean, that sounds like the boiling point of a conversation about the relationship between art, capitalism, and real estate, and like the way that they tend to displace people from their communities and raise rent values and everything like that.
Yeah. It's a thing, man. And it's hard to see, and I get why people are so protective about their land. Yeah.
Especially in Boyle Heights, South Central.
Where people want to come in by the second,
Sure, Black and Latino communities in LA that have historically been given nothing.
Yeah.
You can't just suddenly pump resources into them and then make everybody leave.
Wow, man. Yeah.
I mean, I'm finding myself in that, that paradox now when it's time to look for a new space for Superchief.
And where do you look?
Where do you look? West Hollywood, obviously, it's going to be out of the price range.
Yeah.
And then, obviously not Boyle Heights.
Downtown is just getting too crazy.
Downtown is expensive, It's kind of about that sweet spot. I like to think about where's the gentrification that feels really bad, and then how can I be somewhere peripheral of that? I don't want to be right in the place where you see a lot of new glass windows and polished steel and hip coffee shops and all that kind of shit. Because I don't want to be an unwitting pawn in that program of flipping a neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's why I really liked our old location, because we just weren't near shit.
I love that location, dude. That location was magic, dude.
We just weren't near anything.
Yeah.
And we could give back to our community. Our community was, homeless people. And so we were able to do clothing drives, food drives, raise some money for them. But
so cool. And you guys were there, You guys were there for that,
Yeah, totally.
I remember you guys were doing a lot.
But I guess my question for you is so the warehouse, they got attacked in their art show. And then what was the move after that? Did they decide to leave?
So they called me the next day, and they're like, hey, we can't have the show anymore. We're canceling the show.
So they canceled their upcoming schedule.
Yeah, everything.
Reeling in this attack.
Everything. And they got
dealing with online hate.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
And it really, she was getting hate mail, death threats every single day for a while.
Yeah.
They closed their doors for everyone. It was that Curate LA page. I saw them post a poll on it, what do you guys think about the situation that happened? And it was split in the middle. It was 50-50 said it was cool,
right?
And the other 50 said that it wasn't cool, you know? And that's exactly how I felt. So it's it's just a thing that we're all struggling with, and we all want to do something, but it's just, I don't know, the rules are just so tricky, and it's hard, and people have to pay their dues, and people just can't come in and do stuff.
It's a real gut feeling type of litmus test for it. It's does it feel shitty?
Yeah. Does it not?
To hold on at this point, would I just be helping the bad guys? Would I really just be pushing gentrification in this neighborhood?
And that's why I feel lucky that I grew up in this neighborhood, and I felt like I was kind of one of the only few people that could have taken this again and restarted it. you know, because I saw what it was, I saw how it ended, and I was involved with it in a specific way.
Yeah, you truly did catch every single part of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so like, in your opinion, Dalton Warehouse wasn't like an evil capital mega corporation. It was really just a group of friends.
Yeah, they weren't even making money off of this stuff.
I see.
They weren't even making a dime out of this.
It's not like they
I saw
own
their
the
business.
building.
I saw their business plan, and I was like, you guys aren't doing nothing.
When your business plan is to live in it, rent out studios, and hope the gallery makes a little money on the side. It's not. It doesn't
they were
reek
hoping
of big capitalism.
It's not. It wasn't. None of them came from money. They were all artists trying to make it into this thing.
Right.
You know.
So
and we're all trying to play the game. You know.
So did they end up going somewhere else?
Yeah, they ended up going somewhere. Everybody left to different studios, not a collective. They didn't leave collectively.
Right.
It was one after another, after another.
So
yeah.
So they basically handed it to you after this protest action.
Well, I kind of took it because they were still kind of run it.
Okay.
But closed doors. They were still going to do studios.
Okay.
Because a lot of people were still interested in studios.
Just a place to make art and be close to the public.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And it was still underneath that. And so, but I saw that like nothing was coming out of it, you know, it was just their own stuff. And I was like, that's not fair, you know, that this really nice space exists. Yeah. And we can't do anything because you guys are running it.
You're not learning from the slap on the wrist that you just got.
Yeah.
We want this to belong to the community.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you had a vision for that.
Yeah, and I saw it, and I didn't tell them my vision right away. You know, I wasn't like, you know, like, hey, give me your space. Like, you guys need to leave.
Let's go into business together.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like that. It was like, hey, hello, are you guys have a studio space available? Like, I'm looking for a space, and they're like, oh no, like we don't have no spaces. I was like, oh man, all right, whatever. And I was like, well, whatever, I guess. And then like a month later, I got a call from them saying, hey, we have a space available. It's a really small space. It's the one that Mario Crab has.
Okay.
And it's like, we have that, do you want it? I was like, yeah, I'll take it. And so I took it, and the vibes were cold, man. Like, my neighbor was super cold, and like, just kind of like weird, and like, a person up here was super weird, and like didn't even let me look at their art, and like wasn't allowed to go there. I was like, it's been like a month now. Can I go check what you're doing? They're like, no, I'm not ready. Like, no. And I never saw their art. They came and left, and I never saw their art.
Just zero friendship.
Zero friendship,
community
dude.
vibe.
Nothing, dude. And the guy next door, I tried to like be chill with him, and like, and he was just like, I'll play a little bit of music, and was like, hey, can you like turn it off? And like, just kind of like, come on,
sterile.
Man.
Yeah.
Like, put in your headphones or something. We're like in a, you know?
Yeah.
And before like people signed the lease, they were told like, hey, we play music here. If you don't like that, like put your headphones on. He's been told that, and like he still didn't give a fuck, and was like,
just lame.
Just lame, man. And like
people that have a studio here, not because this place means shit to them. It's just because, hey, it's a cheap studio.
Exactly.
I got a cheap studio down in South Central.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Everybody was here because of the cheap studios, and people had houses in Los Feliz. They have houses in, you know, the West Side, and they're coming over here, you know. And it's like all of my current artists here have houses down the block, you know, and they're all from around the area.
Yeah.
You know, and that's super nice.
So how did you walk it past the goal line? How did you get this place to the point where a bunch of artists that you respect from actually in the community of South Central have studios here? How did that happen?
There's a lot of friends that I have in my neighborhoods that I grew up in my circle that were doing a lot, but couldn't like escape that other level, you know? They couldn't push over to the next level, over to the other side. There was like something stopping them, and it was a studio space. Like it was a place to work.
Right, because they're making their art in their bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And somewhere to be inspired by every single day and come and work. Yeah. And so I had this whole vision, and like I wanted to, because I had a gallery before, so I was like, man, and that was taken away from me. So I had the itch to show more people, and that was starting to become really successful. And I kind of launched a lot of early careers in there, and a lot of people who I've shown there are now showing at places like Jeffrey Deitch.
Wow.
And like places like that.
Yeah.
That I gave them a first studio place to show, and now they're like developing and saw that the community was helping out, and and doing cool things, and that encourages them. And I was like, man, I need that space. So I kept on thinking about the space. I was like, this is it. This space is it.
Right.
And I was like, this is next. I need to go in. And so, yeah, when somebody would leave the studio space, I would buy that studio space as well.
Okay.
So if somebody was coming in, I'll get it. I'll be like, oh, cool. I'll take it. And they'll be like, oh, you wanna replace your studio? I was like, no, I want that one and that one and that one.
Yeah.
I want them.
Yeah, you just started grabbing them up.
Yeah, I started grabbing them up, and then slowly
sub-landlording the studios out until you had them all.
Yeah.
Or until you had your friends and all of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of saw what I was doing, and they were like, okay, like, we know what you're doing, we see your vision, and we like your vision. Yeah, I started recruiting my roster, and I was like looking through my friend list and being like, who needs a studio? Like, who's killing it that I want to work with? Like, who's really doing stuff?
Yeah.
And so I would like keep track of them, like what they were doing, on kind of like stalking them on Instagram and seeing what they were doing, and like if I knew they were gonna be at some event or something, I'll go to the events. I'll be like, I think I'll catch you right there. And
that's one way to do it. I feel like maybe you could have just hit them up, but stalking is another valid way to do it.
Because it's like I feel like people are like sometimes don't reply and are like,
or like, I don't want a studio space, it's expensive.
Or something, I just gotta tell them in person. I gotta like persuade them,
Yeah.
Like I really have to like
sell them on this vision.
Yeah, really like sell them on this and be like, hey man, let's do this, dude.
In the gallery you ran previously, there wasn't a studio aspect to that.
Yeah.
This was just exhibition only.
The one before, there was a music studio actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we ran a music and recording studio.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was like a gallery and then music recording studio. My business partner at the time was an audio engineer.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And so this is your first experience in I'm making an incubation space for artists that I'm exhibiting.
Yeah.
So now you're sort of invested in these people and their art practices because you want to see them start here, gain some traction, and then graduate out to Deitch and graduate out to here and there.
Yeah, and they have, even from this exhibit alone, like everyone got opportunities from this exhibit.
Really?
Yeah, like Mario's getting his first like major big show with like major like well-known artists. And
Rad.
I'm like, dude, I'm so proud of him, and it's something that he's never done before. He would never ever do that.
Awesome.
Like Mario was one of the ones that like I specifically needed to sit down, because I've known Mario for over like 15 years.
The photographer?
No, Mario my Crab.
Crab. Yeah. Awesome. So
been knowing Crab for a really long time.
He's gotten some opportunities.
Yeah. He's gotten some good
other
opportunities.
exhibitions.
Yeah,
and stuff like that
is coming up soon.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and you'll know about
really
it.
Cool.
Find out about it. Yeah.
I found out about Crab's art in 2014 as soon as I moved here.
Crazy.
East 7th.
Crazy. Oh, okay.
Right across from the Greyhound station.
Yeah.
That was, I think, I made my first friends in getting to LA at East 7th. It was the first place I went.
Spot. Yeah, it was a nice spot.
So yeah, the Blazing Eye guys and Crab and Abe were the first people I met. I was like, all right, dope punk artist in Los Angeles. I like it.
Cool.
I'm already signed up for this.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, Crab's art is really cool. It stands out.
Yeah, it's really
on show flyers or
exactly. He's been doing it for over a decade, you know, and being in the scene for over a decade, and being in bands, being part of the scene, growing the scene, you know, really kind of pushing. And he had a venue spot called, he was running this venue spot called Paris Tire Shop.
Oh yeah, I've been to a show there.
Yeah.
That place was wild.
To say the least.
You started as someone that was maybe going to be in an art show over here, and now through hooking people up with jobs and hooking them up with studio space and hooking them up with media exposure, you've become this great provider at the center of your scene of friends.
Yeah, and I feel the love from all my friends too, and I feel the respect they gave me, and the respect that I give back to them, and you know, I'm always trying to talk to them. Even my friends that were here earlier, like that were here, I haven't seen them since high school, man. And they came here and like thought about They're like, dude, came by to check out the space.
So you're getting some shine right now. You got people from high school coming back to say hello. That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
like friends that I haven't seen, and it's super
really
fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
Keep riding that wave, because
I'm trying to.
The more hype you can get, and the more eyes on it you can get from people outside your community who care, the better.
Yeah, that's what I want.
You'll be able to keep pushing opportunities all over the place.
And through inviting my friends who are also part of the community, they're also getting all the other friends that are part of the community.
Yeah.
And I'm getting, since I had that exhibition, my DMs are just blasted with people trying to have studio spaces and be a part of the space.
On the waiting list now.
Some way, somehow.
Yeah.
And so my hopes is to open another space up in October, actually.
Awesome.
So I'm joining with other investors that want to help me out, and I want to open up more spaces for the community.
Cool.
And now since I see people are more encouraged to have studio spaces, and like, hey, when can I get on the list for studio space? Can I do that? And
so, do you see this as sort of like a prototype for a model that you want to replicate elsewhere? So like, if you opened a studio up in another neighborhood, are you going to try to
I'll
find?
Be there. So I'll start up with it.
Okay.
So I'll be there every step of the way until it's stable enough.
And so, are you going to try to find people from that neighborhood to put into that studio?
Absolutely.
This is like a local autonomy kind of project for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Because all the people that have reached out to me are all local.
Okay.
Nobody has reached out to me are not local, and they're like, hey, we are super excited about this. Like,
so this is, for you, it's a community project.
Yeah.
This is like, you grew up here. You're, in my opinion, someone that should be put on because your art is good.
Thank you, man.
And you got to join this local cluster of artists as like an incubation chamber to sprawl out from there.
And hopefully it keeps branching out. And all of my artists all want to provide workshops for the future.
Cool.
So everyone has a skill here, and everybody wants to bring the community, and not just the immediate community. You know, people from Southgate, people from Hawthorne, people from Gardena, people from East LA, people from the neighbors. Not just, like direct, but like all around, because that's also kind of like hard to find people of color who are teaching these crafts. You don't really see people, and then when you see it, you start to believe it more. So if you see someone like me who's putting stuff together and showing people stuff, they're like, oh, I want to do that stuff.
That's really cool.
I want to start something where I grab my group of artists and we kind of travel around the high schools around here and give lectures on art, and like target specific people in the schools, like go into the schools and talk to them, say, hey, who's in your arts? Who's shining right now in your arts programs? Who's showing a little bit of interest in the arts? Yeah. Like, we want to talk to them.
You're going to need a nonprofit. So
we are.
You can take charitable donations and all that. That's really cool.
Yeah, and my hopes is not to do scenic painting. Like, I don't want to do scenic painting. That was something that is giving me money and is allowing me to start this, without me having that stable career. I wouldn't be able to do this,
Of course, you need money to do things in this world.
And so, but now there's a little bit of momentum that I'm getting. Like, I'm starting to see more money than I am in my day job, So I'm like, maybe I should just play my money smarter and like, start investing more and start doing this more full time.
Now that you have a passion project, you can just continuously reinvest money and figure out ways to ethically take money on board through nonprofit or whatever. And expand this idea, registering LLCs and keeping it flowing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
And eventually I want to teach college, but then like now that I'm looking at it, it's like I could possibly even start my own school. I have a friend, his name is Dan McCleary, and he started a foundation called Art Division, and it's a school run right next to MacArthur Park on 6th Street. It caters to people underprivileged, and he has teachers from all around that teach at UCLA, that teach at bigger schools around, teach, and he gets help from the community, but he gets teachers that are really good that wouldn't be teaching there elsewise, So I want to start something like that too, because now that I'm starting to become more involved in this, like now I'm like knowing friends who are really good at doing stuff, and like I could ask them, you know, for a favor and be like, hey, come
be a guest teacher. Do a program, yeah.
Do a program.
That's really cool.
You know, we could do this, we could do that. Let's keep doing it. You know, let's help out.
Yeah.
And through that, like, start asking the city for money. You know, start asking the government for money.
At that point, you've done a proof of concept, and you're eligible for that kind of thing. You're eligible for grants, city money. You can go do college lectures and get paid for that.
Yeah.
Keep people on rotation.
Yeah.
And then,
which I've been invited actually recently to be part of some lectures, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah.
And that's sick. And then, here you can be doing dinners and film screenings.
Yeah.
Darkroom workshop, painting workshop.
And hopefully, hopefully I could start a hub and start opening up more stuff, and it all kind of be unified.
Yeah. I also noticed in the artists you have here, you've got silkscreen, photography, ceramics. You've kind of got someone who everybody does a different skill, and together you sort of have the whole...
Yeah, that was on purpose.
The whole skeleton system for creative agency.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like we're the whole house right here. We're the one-stop shop right here. You know, you want some designs, we got you. We got
exactly. You can do it in-house.
We got it. You want some props? We have prop guys here. I'm a prop guy. You want some mural guys? We got them.
I've always found that to be a really strong suit when you're figuring out who your in-house people are. Have someone for everything.
You got your go-to, you know, you got your digital guys, you got your video guys.
And you're all going to be out there meeting people, and you're going to keep meeting people that need something done, and you can throw each other work from within the network. So-and-so needs shirts made, man. We'll talk to my guy.
Yeah.
So-and-so needs an event photographed, a video made.
Exactly. And that's why I feel like this was so successful because of that. Because it got like, section of every single thing. And I overheard somebody say when they were here, they were like, wow, dude, everyone's here. Like old people, white people, punks, cholos, art people, fashion people. Like, whoa, dude, everyone's here.
Yeah, like you did a great job of attracting everybody to this. And I think that the art is really good, and
Thank you.
As a collective, I'm really curious to see how far you can take it.
Cool, me too, man. And a lot of people want to get involved now and see like what this is. And like I feel like a lot of people are just not looking for a studio space, you know? They're looking
now they want to be a part of this.
You know, that's exactly what they want, you know? Now they're like, oh, now we want to be, I saw what that could be done. Like I want to be a part of that, and I want to give a part of that, you know? I want everybody to have that feeling, you know, of an opening night, a successful opening night, where there's a bunch of people here to support you and look at your work, and just have like the next days you could just kind of think about like what happened, and kind of be more encouraged to develop more work. And
I really like it too, because the open studio vibe is a lot of fun. You know, I never did that. I would do the community thing inside of Superchief, but our openings wouldn't be open studios, because I'm just curating an exhibition schedule of our community at large, which is between New York, LA, and Miami. So there's like a lot of touring shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, I saw that, dude. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff.
But behind the scenes at Superchief was always the community vibe. It's like pull out the folding tables and we're all collaborating.
I never saw that. Yeah.
But I really love that vibe, and I definitely pick up on that here, and I miss that. I love that kind of vibe.
Cool, man. Hopefully your next project has more of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Happening.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the gallery side of this kind of thing, are you going to continuously exhibit the artists that you have here in-house, or are you going to switch it up?
No, I'm switching it up.
Okay, so
I'm switching it up.
This was just to birth the thing, getting going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm switching it up. But there'll always be open studios, though.
Cool.
So when we have shows, the studios will be available every time.
That's cool.
Every time, just because there's always new people.
Right.
You know, this is what we do, you know, come in, you know.
And then you're kind of you're the curatorial force behind this. So it's just going to be someone that you've, vouched for and checked out, and you respect them.
Well, I've also had a word with each of my tenants here, and I told them like, hey, if you guys are like, because I want to give everybody a shot, you know? And it's like, hey, if you guys ever thought about like a sick show you guys had in mind, let me know, man. Let's put it together.
Yeah.
Like, let's put the show together. And so our next exhibit that we're gonna have, I'm actually collaborating with Doghouse Photos. Cool. We're gonna have a big photo show.
Oh, right.
All LA, South Central.
Wow, man, I can't wait.
All over, dude. All over.
Photo shows are my favorite.
Oh,
so fun to curate.
Me too.
Go through everyone's submissions of just
yeah.
whatever kind of hijinks they're into.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's gonna be a massive photo show.
It's gonna be so LA, this photo show.
Yeah. So that's gonna be the next one. But before that, we're gonna start hosting swap meets here.
Cool.
So I have when I grew up in my roots, deep in my roots. I have like deep swap meet culture roots. We sold at 3 different ones. We sold at the Alameda swap meet, we sold at the Alpine swap meet, and we sold at the LA Harbor College swap meet.
Okay.
So
cool.
It was just
cool.
That was the job. That was the side because they worked full time.
Wow.
And then they did that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and yeah, it was a lot of that. So, but then the factory, went out of business, and so they couldn't get those pieces anymore. Mm-hmm. So my dad's like, I'm too embedded in this shit. Like I love this shit.
Yeah.
So we just started like going to just to go to rich people's houses and like buying stuff in yard sales.
Okay.
And like,
yeah.
We would actually like act and like pretend like we were way more poor than we were.
Yeah.
And my dad used to make me like be like dressed all dirty, and it was all act, dude.
Awesome.
It was all like
just hustling. You're just estate sale, yard sale, swap meet hustlers.
And I'll like be all dirty and like be all like whiny and just kind of like go with my dad. My dad would have me be with him all the time. It's like, dude, it works. Trust me.
Cool.
You gotta be here.
Well, these are all skills that are going to transfer into negotiating and art. Yeah.
Already did transfer. You
know?
100% already transferred. Like the pieces that I sold here, like weren't automatically sold. Like I was chopping it up,
walking it through. Yeah.
Like hyping up the artists,
cool.
doing that, saying what they're going to be doing, what their future projects are. Like you really need to get them now before it's too late. Like,
Look at the article.
Yeah, check this out. Like, dude, you got to make moves. Like,
awesome.
You call yourself an investor. This
Get in at the ground
invest.
You're here in South Central checking this art out. You know this artist is going places.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah. So me and my father would also go like in our neighborhood. There was this time of month where we were allowed to throw all the trash on the street. So like the big trash, we call it the big trash, would come and like they wouldn't discriminate of what you put on the streets. They'll just take it.
Bulk trash.
Bulk trash. Yeah. Like there was only like once every, I don't even know how long it was, but that day we would go at night, like right when everybody was starting to throw the trash, and just look through everyone's
just
thing.
Load up a truck.
Everything. And the next day we'll spend it looking through everything, spit shining everything, repainting everything, making everything look brand new.
Nice.
So I was like upcycling stuff from a really young age, just kind of making things look nice.
Really
and that's
cool.
what I kind of do now at like Disney. Like I make things look nice. Like
totally.
That's the kind of what I, my specialty. I can make things look nice. I always told people like I could sell trash to somebody.
Right.
Like I could literally sell trash to somebody.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Definitely.
Quite literally.
Yeah, my dad has like really proved that to me.
That's awesome.
Was always hustling. My dad's like #1 hustler, and that's why it's in me. Because it's like, since I can remember, I never had a childhood. Like I would have to wake up early, at the crack of dawn to wake up to go to the swap meet to like
start
put
hustling.
everything up and do the tents and even then like my dad would be like, okay, you've helped me out. You've already helped me out. I could handle this. Go find somebody that needs help. So I would go find somebody else that needed help vending, and I would not only did I have to go help my dad pick up, I would have to go somebody else help vend. So I sold sunglasses for this Filipino guy when I was like, from like 10 years old to like 14.
Awesome. So, yeah.
Getting $25 a day.
You've always been hustling.
Yeah,
You're raised for this.
Yeah, man.
Have you thought about getting some of what you have going on here, like a residency for out-of-towners? Or as you set more of these up, you can send people between?
Yeah, I have.
That'd be really cool.
I have thought about that. Me and my friend have thought about doing something like that with people in Athens, because he has connections with friends in Athens.
In Georgia? Athens, Georgia?
No, Athens, Greece.
Oh, Athens, Greece. Cool.
Yeah, Athens, Greece.
Wow.
Yeah.
International.
Very
cool.
Yeah. So we have friends who have he has a spot. My friend who helped actually put this together. We're like business partners, and we're kind of want to expand some more. He has this idea too of like opening up more spaces internationally and doing that. So yeah, we want to like bring people from elsewhere to bring them here. We want to bring people from here elsewhere too, because
really cool.
Other people from here haven't been anywhere else in the world, dude.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool to send these people off somewhere else, you know?
That's a nut we're always trying to crack. What's the easiest way that we can figure out how to send artists that don't get to see the world out into the world? Because a lot of time artists can be so broke and so wrapped up in working to one exhibition and then painting for another exhibition. It's like they never get to go out and see things once they get into the workflow of like their early mid-career. And I think that's really important.
Stuck in,
it's really important for artists to get out there and see other cultures and other parts of the world.
I also, after college, I gathered up a bunch of money and I kind of got this space with my family members. They already had the space, but I kind of built a studio space in Mexico City.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, so I spent a year out there developing it and working in the space.
Wow.
But that was during the time that Trump became president, and that was kind of sketchy for me being out there, and I was like, man, I need to just be back.
Right.
And so I kind of left, and I got more opportunities here, but I still have that space over there. And I actually soon, like really soon, I want to compose a thing and start putting up submissions for people to apply, so I could take a look, see who's good enough for me to send.
I feel like that's a slam dunk. What you're doing here needs to be directly connected to DFA and TJ if possible.
Yeah.
Tlaloc.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I want to do that. Oh, maybe rename that studio space after this. Actually, it's funny because the name before the studio space, I named it after my grandfather, which is Lalo.
Oh.
And there's just a T and a C at the end.
Oh.
For Tlaloc.
Cool. I like the rebrand. And that's a nice honor. It's a nice homage to your grandfather too.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
So hopefully I'll get some help with that too, with like writers and stuff like that. I'm not much of a writer, so it's fun having.
You need a grant writer.
Yeah.
At this stage.
I got a couple of friends who came up to me who are grant writers who are like, hey, I'll offer my services to you.
Yeah.
And
perfect.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need to call them soon.
You've got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, I do.
Awesome.
I just got a message before you came for my job, like, hey, can you come in on Monday? And I'm just like, damn, man, like
it's starting to happen. You're like, starting to realize that you're gonna need more time. Shit. Well, you know what? When you're ready, you're gonna hand your job to a friend.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna keep this cycle going.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'm ready for the tour.
Yeah,
that's kind of the breakdown on the space.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. We gotta see. This exhibition that we have here now is our inaugural exhibition. It was the opening was on March 27th, and it was a full moon. It was beautiful, and this is what we have here.
Is this some of your work right here?
Yes, this is one of my pieces here now.
Awesome.
And this work is inspired a lot by kind of all the different cultures that I kind of think I represent. Like I grew up here in the States, so I was, catered with cartoons and television and all that stuff, and cartoons were my first babysitters. My parents didn't really have, they were working all the time, so me and my siblings, we were watching cartoons all the time. So I always tried to like pay some homage to cartoons, because it's something that kind of gets me really excited when I start drawing. I'd rather draw a cartoon than draw like a lifelike portrait of something. It's like more fun, more creative. There's more imagination. There's more expansion. There's more, there's more room to just develop, more things, new ideas.
So we have like a Mesoamerican Disney mashup going on here.
Yeah, so the pattern that you see behind in this section is based off actually Tlaloc. So Tlaloc, he's the god of rain in the Aztec Empire, and he usually has these big eyes, these giant eyeglasses, and these teeth, these like sharp, spiky teeth, and he doesn't really have like a nose. It's kind of like abstracted. It's kind of like a face, like an eye face thing. He's very, very iconic. He's blue in nature, and hence the hence the blue in this figure. But they also, when people look at them, some people also make references to Pokemon and saying that this is a Pokeball.
Definitely looks like Pokeballs.
And like, so there's like Pokeballs and stuff like that. And that's something that I'm trying to kind of a transition over from, and kind of have this conversation between, this dialogue between the mark making that was made in manuscripts, like pre-Columbian manuscripts, and the mark making that was made right now, or in the 1920s when cartoons started developing more.
Cool.
And so I want to make this connection that the people who are making cartoons, that have a strong feeling that they were inspired and influenced by a lot of like manuscripts, and because these were the first basically like, you know, illustrations and like cartoons, if you will, you know. And so there's strong connections between that. So that's why maybe sometimes I feel that I'm like really connected with cartoons, is because maybe at some point in my past, like my ancestors were making manuscripts.
Sure, these Aztec, pre-Aztec forms of entertainment were these characters on the temples and in the culture.
Yeah, maybe, you know, my ancestors were really tied with that. Maybe that's why in my root I'm, you know, trying to kind of make new stuff. And so I'm trying to develop a new language with the language that already exists and kind of carry on.
That's cool.
That kind of develop more further, because it got killed kind of rapidly. And I feel like there was still a lot to be developed and a lot of expansion to kind of keep growing.
So you're imagining these alternate outcomes of Aztec art, pre-Aztec art, if it was allowed to continue
what would it look
flourishing.
Like if they were taking mushrooms and acid and did some abstract painting? How would that pre-Columbian work look like? Now. Or in the future.
That's cool. That's cool.
So trying to push that language, trying to push that conversation. And I put this Neanderthal skull in the middle of it to kind of like bring us back to this kind of, you know, we're all just this, you know, we were all this at the beginning, like this and this is the same thing. You know,
all this thought stemmed from right here. The brain of the pre-human.
Very
cool.
Yeah, we have, this is a piece by Mario Alonso, aka Crab. He grew up in the Florence district area as well. And this is actually an old car wash that's going to be turned into apartments right next to the Blue Line. So this is right next to the Blue Line on Florence. And it's changing so rapidly. And for Mario, this was like a stamp for us too. Like we were passing by there every day and hanging out, and now things are changing so fast. So now for him to have this is now like, you know, another stamp, you know, it's very cool. Special, and like this is not gonna happen anymore. It's not gonna exist anymore, and it's something really special. And we actually sold this piece, so I'm happy.
Congrats!
I'm happy that happened.
It's also really cool to see a more traditional painting from someone that I think of as a punk artist.
Yeah, that's
or more of an illustrator.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he got inspired just by his neighborhood, you know. And not necessarily like an artist or like, oh, I want to start painting landscapes. It was more like, whoa, I'm really attached to this, you know, neighborhood. I'm going to pay homage to it by making a painting of it, and making it live forever.
Very cool.
Since it's now going to be demolished for something that it's going to have no culture and it's going to destroy culture. And they're actually thinking of transforming that whole area into like the brewery district. Like that already sounds like a nightmare. We have a photo collective by the name of Doghouse Photos, and they're all from the Los Angeles area, from all the way from Watts to South Central to Midtown, Mid-City. And they all met within the last decade, and they've been working closely together and been inspired by each other, and have also inspired a lot of different artists, a lot of different photographers in this neighborhood, and it's really amazing to see. And it's really cool seeing this like young, like Latino, like, you know, like cholos, like, you know, doing like creative work and like advancing in their crafts, and really, you know, getting to know their equipment and getting to know each other and getting to know their city and displaying their city like the way they do it. And it's so beautiful, and it's nice to see all of that come together, and people come visit and recognize areas and are so attached to the visual imagery that they have created, you know, and they have great eyes. They see something and, you know, they just want to put it out there, and it's really cool. And I can't wait to see more of what they make. And it's just the beginning for these guys. They're so young.
I can't wait to see.
These guys are all like early 20s. Like,
wow. So it's all very autobiographical, my life and growing up down here.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like, this is what we do. This is what we are. This is our daily stuff. And they're influencing a lot of photographers right now, especially in the hood. And I'm seeing a flux of just children, kids, if you will, come in with their photo cameras and like coming in and just like checking out the space, and it's so good. And like,
your next exhibition here is an all photo show.
It's an all photo show. Yeah.
Awesome.
I feel like we need to shine some light on that, because a lot of the people who came here were photographers, and I saw a lot of people with their cameras, and a lot of people have reached out to me about photo shows, and I've talked to them, and they have a whole collection of amazing artists that they've worked with, and a lot of people in the hood, and they know every photographer in the hood.
Yeah.
You know, they're the dudes, you know. They're connected with a lot of like big time photographers as well, and like the big time photographers are starting to recognize them, are starting to see the work that they're doing, and somebody needs to carry the torch, you know.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Somebody's got to do it, and these guys seem like they got a head on correctly, and they're doing it. They're all super inspirational, and like they all kind of just decided to go sober too. That's
cool.
Huge.
Yes.
That's huge. And that's how everybody just starts exploding, man.
Yeah.
Like,
going sober is a big step for somebody that wants to kick their moves into the next gear.
Yeah. At least for a little bit, and then like see what Abraham is also sober.
Really?
As well. Yeah.
Awesome.
So that's what we're seeing this.
Yeah. It gives you a lot more time and focus not to spend a day hungover.
A lot.
You know, a hangover can be a real mood killer.
A whole mood killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. And like honestly, if people spend, you know, more time not being hungover,
you get a lot more accomplished. Okay, so take me this way.
I'll take you this way. This
the next round of paintings.
Katrina Esperanza. She just graduated from, she's also a super young artist. Just graduated from Dominguez Hills, and that's her first studio too. A lot of the people who are here, this is their first studios.
Wow.
Actually, everyone here, this is their first studios.
Wow.
So
that's really cool.
It's really beautiful to see, and she was super grateful, and it's really amazing to see her kind of like flourish and see what people thought of her work. And this is her first exhibition. It was her first studio, and I kind of know her through online, and I kind of wanted more, like, you know, more women artists involved in the space, because it quickly started to become into a punk house.
Yeah.
You know, and want to just not be that, you know.
I like that you brought in a lot of punk rock artists, but you made sure that other groups would be included in this as well.
Yeah, because it's not fair.
We all know that punk can be a little bit too macho.
Yeah.
Not a lot of ladies showing up in that community.
Yeah.
And
it could be a lot of macho.
So it's nice. It's nice that you recognize your role in balancing that equation.
Yeah, for sure. I need to have it, or else it's just...
Because everyone will benefit from that. The punks will benefit from the exposure to other worlds.
Exactly.
And everyone else will benefit from being around people that don't tolerate bullshit in any regard.
And I love having people who are like more experienced, like Matt, who has already a career and who has experience dealing with like the art world, and he has the drive and he has the skill and he also has the discipline. And I love him having here because he gets here every day, even though he has a 9 to 5, he gets here every day and just works every day. And he bangs out a drawing or two every day, and we're always like talking, and everybody comes to the studio and is like, dude, Matt's killing it. And like, I love having like the different environments and the different drives, and it's really nice for everyone to have, you know?
Right.
You know, it's like, they haven't seen people work like this either, you know? They need
everyone's feeding off each other's motivation and energy.
And let's say you just get here, like you just got to work and you just get here. You get here, you're like, oh, there's somebody here making music, someone's over here painting, so another person's doing that. You're like, well, I need to go to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's how it feels. And
time to grind.
Like, time to grind. You see everybody doing, and yeah, there comes times where like there's downtime and we go into each other's studios and we talk and, you know, just smoke some weed. But
this is exactly what people need right now too. After a year of isolation, uncertainty, it's time to build and hang out together.
Yeah, it's time to build for sure and talk to each other and have more of that. Absolutely. And I'm glad that we got that.
Very cool.
Yeah. On this end, we have Abraham Garcia. He's a screen printer. He works in design, but traditional kind of graphic design, like all analog design. Like this piece here was made all by hand, and like the film was done by hand, and like hand printed and handmade, and just amazing. He's just so cool, and he does a lot of work within the punk scene as well. He's kind of really involved. He runs a shop out in 7th Street called Descontrol.
Descontrol shop, yes, which is across from the Greyhound station on 7th.
Yes, right across the street, and they're doing phenomenal for what they're doing, man. They've grown a shit ton, and they've got a great momentum happening.
Yeah,
and
blowing away.
Hopefully they don't become a victim of gentrification, and because I know they're like right next to a really big museum, and that's already really scary, you know?
They're right in harm's way.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how long they can hold on. But
they're also like really artsy themselves, you know, so they kind of belong there, you know? Like, and a lot of people stop by like after the museums and check out their spot, and like, wow, they even come and like buy stuff, and you know, are really interested in the art, because it's the real deal down there. If you guys haven't checked it out, this Control Shop.
There he is.
Yeah, real deal, guys. Check it out. Yeah, this is both of his pieces.
Oh, nice. Let's see this one too. Very cool. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, me too. Hi, Taco.
Hey there.
And yeah, this is, he goes as Al Dubber. He's kind of well known as also a flyer maker and a tattoo artist. He's been, for the last maybe like 5 years, he's been consistently creating flyers for the punk scene as well. He's really involved in dipping his toes in a lot of different things. I'm excited for him. He also, this is his first studio, and it's really exciting to see him work and coming in and seeing the change, because he never had this. And I remember you know, every day coming in and seeing his progress and seeing like how at the beginning he was very party mode-ish, and then quickly died down, you know, quickly was like, oh, this is not the vibe, you know?
And I see it sold peace.
Yeah.
So there's some positive reinforcement.
Yeah, definitely.
On more work and less party.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it needs to do. And I feel like a lot of the people the artists who came here just needed that push, you know?
I like it because the space is playful. It's not like it's sterilized.
Yeah,
but it encourages you to maybe be a little more constructive than destructive.
Yeah, yeah.
Which maybe if it was a full-on punk space, it would be more dedicated to self-destruction than actually getting things done and cleaning up for the world.
And everybody who there's punks, but when like their punk friends come in, like, you know, they have a word with them and they're like, hey, this is like a place to work. Like, we work here, man. Like, this is our...
Respect the place.
Yeah, respect the place. And like, you know, we worked hard for this, and, you know, we don't want anybody just coming and fucking it up, you know? You know, respect the space. Yeah.
All right. And then moving on down to the sculpture, ceramic.
Yeah,
what are we seeing here?
This is ceramic sculpture. And her name is Lizette Hernandez, and she grew up in Compton. And she now lives in the Southeast LA area, and she's gone a long way. She's definitely been working super hard, and this is also her first studio.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, she graduated from UCLA in the ceramics department.
Awesome. So,
and there's quite a few scholars here.
Yeah.
And it's awesome having both, you know, having street smart people and intellectual people, and the mix and match of everyone. Cool.
Well, thank you for the tour and all your time.
Thank you for everything. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Just about out of time now, but we'll have to check in again
Please.
In a few months or a year from now.
That would be awesome.
See how it's evolved.
Yeah, let's see how that goes.
Very exciting opening.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, thanks, and good luck.